Hello everyone, my name is Roy Cornwall, alias The Teller. It's Thursday, the 28th of December, 2023, at 1:20 p.m. in the afternoon. Um, I'm on Mars, and the best thing for me about Mars was this flying. I call it a flying skidoo because it really did look a lot like it. Didn't have skis in the front or a track that turned, but it looks like that. And he drove it like a skidoo where you lean off one side and the other. The gray aliens made me this. It was similar to the flying couch, but it was better because it was made specifically for me. It had uh, I had a uniform that I would wear. In 70 degrees, I'd have just a light jacket on and my helmet. But when it got colder, I'd have warmer clothes. Um, I could take Rusty with me on this. A helmet for him, and in the warmer, colder weather, we'd put a coat on him. But he loved it. The cat absolutely loved it. Now, the hard part about this is that whenever I wanted to go out, the dog, Tippy, he wanted to come with me. But I couldn't bring him on this. So no, I asked the aliens, the gray aliens, I said, can you put something on this thing that would hold him and strap him in so he doesn't jump out and he can come too? So they put this big basket on the front. It wasn't like a mesh, steel mesh. It was smooth, and it had sides on it about this high, and a strap that we could strap the same strap that I used to clip Rusty to me between my legs is the same type of thing they had for the dog. So now the dog and the cat can come with me. Uh, I couldn't leave the hab unless they wanted to come, right? So uh, that thing was slick. It was fast. It go as high as I wanted. I didn't go too high. I didn't want to go off into outer space. I was warned not to go too high in this, right? So I could fly this thing right down into the reptilians' uh, sanctuary where they were. And one of these visits, we had like 20 cows there at this point. Now cows have to breathe air, and they go to the washroom, and they have to eat grass and stuff. So we're talking, the reptilians and I were talking. We're saying, well, how can we possibly bring enough cows here to feed everybody? At this point, I'm up there about 15 years now, and I think I've counted somewhere about 8 million people, 8 million reptilians down there, about 8 million. On the first onset, and when you look at that many people, it looks like a lot. I said there's a billion. No, it turned out to be about 8 million people, aliens down there. And I said to them, I said, well, are there any empty caverns around? He says, yeah, the whole planet is full of these caverns. They're everywhere. So he took me to one of these caverns. It was dark black. And he had this thing that he threw out, and it hovered, and it lit up the whole place, right? So I said to him, I said, will this hold air? He says, no, but we can make it hold air. Now the floor's all jaggedy with rocks and stuff. I said, the floor's got to be flattened out, and then we 10 feet up or 12 feet up, put another floor, and there was like, I don't know, 15 floors you could put into this cave. And I said, well, what you got to do is as many floors as you need to get the cows in, and also have chickens and pigs, this kind of thing, right? So it turned out they needed like 3 caverns, one for the cows, one for the chickens, and one for the pigs, right? Now, all these animals, they go to the washroom, and you can use them as fertilizer because They don't grow much. They chemical feed the fertilizer up there. They never heard of organic fertilizer. So in the cow, each one of these had a river going right through it, water. So they didn't have to feed the cow, you know, supply water to these animals. They would just go over and drink. Uh, so yeah, in the cow area, they had in the cow area they had ways a real good setup there uh, for the cows, better than what we had on Earth. The cows seemed to like it better. There was in this cave they put those shrubs that they tested the cows could eat, and it worked out well for them. So they had a lot of this foliage and grass type stuff in there. Pretty well everything the cow needed. Now, um, there's more to having a cow than just feeding and watering them. You got to know how to birth them, and we taught them all this. They were actually really good at this. So they built the numbers up slowly, and each year they got more cows and more cows, until they had enough cows to feed their people. Cows, chickens, pigs. Um, the first time they saw an egg, and they broke it, and they looked at me like, "Oh my God, I just broke it." you know, you know. Um, these this agricultural system was a very big thing for these beings, both gray and reptilian. Very big. They really wanted it, but they wanted to do it right. So, yeah, one of these times when I flew down in there, I sort of conferred with them and showed them they're very industrious. These people, and they're smart. You tell them, and they understand, and they go off and do it, right? Um, these compartments were airtight for them because the cows got to breathe air, and so does the chickens and everything. And when they went in there, they had to wear the gas, the air nozzles for them to breathe. But I said to them, I said, you're not going to stay down there. You're only going there to work, so put up with it, right? So yeah, the gray aliens they learned from the reptilians, and they did the same thing there over. You see, I gotta clarify. These aliens, both of them, reptilian and the gray aliens, were really smart, and some things they were a lot smarter than us. But other things weren't smart at all. Like they didn't know about the water below their feet, and about cows and feeding themselves, and how to protect themselves from the other beings. Um, Once we taught them and told them, yeah, they were great with that, right? So, um, uh, everything is running pretty smoothly there right now. These pirates aren't coming back. They got enough food now and water that they can start increasing their population. And uh, I brought some dogs up, and I put them in with the cows in the to just I thought they might need protection. I figured there's some kind of a way we're going to start losing cows, and the dogs are security dogs. If you hear them bark, you come and look. So I well, this one time I went there and I gave them a couple of dogs. I told them how to feed them, how to take care of them. They need love, I said. And they're all on board with this, right? So they did everything. I flew back to my place to have. And what's waiting for me at the door that I have is one of these little monkeys. Very loving animal. Just very loving, right? So I let him into the hab, and he's playing with Tippy and Rusty. Playing it in a nice way, he's not trying to be rough or anything. So nighttime comes, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. I go to get into my bed, and who's there in my bed is this little monkey, right? So I have to name him something. I called him King Kong as a joke, right? And so I crawled in the bed. And when I crawled in the bed, the dog got on the bed, the cat got on the bed, and so did this monkey. Crawled up and snuggled into my back. So things are working out here. This is, you know, my decision is not by anybody on the planet who didn't believe in God was a correct one. Um, uh, I married. I had a pastor come up and marry Fran and I. And in getting married, I had 3 or 4 of each species there. And then went through the ceremony and that, and we had like a reception. We had people over, and after it was all over, they came to me. They said, "How come you married her? How come? Like, what's this mean?" They wanted. I said, "Well, you're going to devote your whole life to her. You're not going to have 6 or 7 different wives, just that one." So, and I went through all of the things about marriage and that, and they thought that that was a really good idea. That showed loyalty and love. I said, so now, uh, 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 the next thing I know, they're having interracial marriages and and, and marriages within their own group. Everybody's getting married, right? So, or wants to get married, right? So, okay, we got a hold of a pastor, and I'm very worried about this because some pastors they have some pretty weird ideas, right? So I told the people on earth I don't want him to come here and stay. He comes, he does the marriage thing and leaves. And baptisms too. I said these people all got to be baptized, every one of them. But you're not staying on this planet. Well, Earth didn't like that. They wanted the pastors. I said no, you're not staying on this planet. You don't have the root, and you're not going to get the root. So they kept changing the pastors up because we would live for a very long time, and the pastors would die of old age. Now, I let both races know that most of the wars on this planet were caused from religion, and how many people have died because people have read the religion wrong. So I was very insistent on letting them know about the Holy Ghost, Jesus Christ, and God, and how that works within your whole life, within your day-to-day. Uh, they honestly thought I was a pastor, but I told them, I said, because they asked me, what's the difference between you and them? Can't you marry us? I said, no. But they wanted to do the right thing desperately. They could see what I was saying was true, so they jumped on board with that. Now, uh, I really like those spaceships, right? Uh, 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 the transporter room was built by the gray aliens, and my flying buggy, is built by the reptilians. Uh, that was not human technology. Um, things were between Fran and I were really good. It came time Fran was going to have a baby. Boy, that created a ruckus. Both the species wanted to be there every day, looking at her. Are you all right? So finally, the baby was born, and they all watched. Every one of them watched this baby being born, because their babies are born in a test tube, right? They don't know how to make love. They don't know how to have babies that way. Well, I'm fully aware that you got to watch what you say around these beings, because they're gonna ask you about it. Well, as soon as they saw the baby being born, the baby cried. And the doctor smacked him on the butt, got him going. It was a boy, and uh, they couldn't get enough of the baby. They couldn't get enough of the baby. Now, I wasn't going to give the baby the root until he got around 25 years old. So this little guy Don't forget, I've got the route, Fran's got the route, and years go by really quickly. Next thing you know, the boy's about 10 or 12 years old, and he wants his own buggy. Uh, so I asked the reptilians, I said, can you make him a buggy? But I don't want it to be like mine, fast and you know, go long distance. I want it to be more like a child's toy, where he can ride it around, but and go places, but not far. And, um, you know, I told him I want an alert system. Something goes wrong, you push that button, I'll come right away. You know, so the biggest thing, the funniest laugh that I ever had was the gray aliens and the reptilians were watching this little boy get on this thing for the first time. And when like, he couldn't get it going, he got it finally going. We showed him, and he went about 30 feet and then stopped. Turned back and looked at me and laughed with a big smile on his face. But when he did that, the other racists, they were standing there, they were jumping for joy. They were enthralled with watching this little boy. Um, his name was Edward. They were enthralled with watching Edward grow up and learning, right? So he needs education. Uh, so we allowed him to get all of his education from the gray aliens. He would go there 5 days a week, spend about 6, 8 hours there, depending. And the gray aliens, they had a way of teaching you because they could, when you talked, it was mind to mind, right? So when the gray aliens, they talked to you, if you didn't get what they were saying, they'd show you pictures and everything. Get it. Eventually, you got it. There was no not getting it. It was almost like they were in control of your mind and what was in there, they put there, and now you know, type deal. So, yeah, Edward's getting really smart. He's probably smarter than I am, right? But I have the wisdom, and I allowed that to govern me there. Um, I suggested building, building buildings on the surface uh, because they can breathe that air, and that, and we're sort of kicking them out of their underground reservoirs for all the animals. But so they saw the way the hab was built, and they tried to. They didn't have the building materials to do this, so back on the blower, I told them what I need. They actually they conferred with Earth the first time. I was no longer the go-between, and they told them what we wanted, and it was transported up along with men that would carry it out of my place, and they would build with it, right? Um, there was I didn't want this place next to my house. I want my seclusion in my quiet. But further down the plain a bit, you can see they were building. Uh, I was I told them all straight in one of my yearly messages to them. I told them I'm very proud of you. I couldn't be more proud of all of you. I'm so proud that gray aliens, and reptiles are marrying now. They're dating and they're marrying. I had to explain all this to them, how to date and everything, and the women reptilians were very loving. All they wanted to do was hold Edward when he was younger, you know. So he got lots of love and lots of and the gray aliens were really smart, so they wanted to transfer that to him. That was their gift they wanted to give them. So if every once in a while I'd be able to go into a spaceship, and they would take me around just to fly to see things, right? The rings of Saturn, the moon, which we had a base on, and they weren't really telling the people on Earth we had one, but they had one there. Um, I said to them, I said, can I have this spaceship? I was only fooling. And they said, no, not right now. I go, well, what do you mean not right now? I said, you're not smart enough. I said, can you make me smart enough? And they said, yes, it'll take a little bit, but we'll do it. So that was my thing, learning how to, all about this spaceship. It was a circular disc, like two plates upside down. It, what the classic flying saucer you see here on Earth, that was them. Um, another thing that they really liked was movies. uh, Forbidden Planet stuff, all kinds of weird, any movie at all, they'd be glued to that. And they'd say, did this really happen? Because they couldn't tell whether it was real or not. Did this really happen? No. Did this really happen? No. Then they see a documentary. Did that happen? Yes. And their eyes are open. That happened, yeah, on Earth. My mandate was to protect that planet from not only my own species but from any other species. It was I'm I looked at the calendar. I tried to figure it out. I'm somewhere between 70 and 80 years old, like, because I lost track. They know on Earth, but I'm somewhere in there. But I'm not 80. I'm 25 years old looking at it. And I told them, I said, like, I would like to stay here, but I got to go back to Earth to get strong again. Uh, so they said to me, you know what they said to me? They said, we can put gravity in your hab that will simulate the gravity on Earth. And then you won't have to go back and forth. They'd said this after I've been there for 10 or 15 years. I mean, why didn't you tell me this at the start? Well, they've been very controlling and telling me anything about themselves. They just don't spew it off. They're very thoughtful that way. So yeah, they changed the hab so that it was Earth's gravity. And I never had to leave then. I never had to leave. Uh, Eventually, we had steaks and chicken and that, so I was okay that way as well. Um, I never brought alcohol to that place. I did bring cannabis because cannabis doesn't make you fight. It makes you like pliable to everything. So yeah, okay, and it was a medicine. So no drugs, no hard drugs. No, I I wouldn't know. I was being very careful. Anybody who came to the planet had to be screened for cockroaches, bugs, flies, ants. I didn't want anything. If if we can't control these things on Earth, what's going to happen on Earth? On Mars, they're going to overrun. So I needed the aliens' help for that, and they saw the need and they gave it to me. So um, I just want to say that I absolutely love these beings. I absolutely love them. I thought of them as my children, but really they were smarter than I was. And they were taking care of me now. So that's the story about my friends on Mars. Now you can ask yourself, is this a fictional story? Or did this really happen to me? I'm going to leave that up to you. Um, you decide whether it really happened to me or not. And may God bless. Everyone stay strong to be kind. And blessings. I love you. Bye-bye.